Aurora Family Martial Arts. Like many of you, I am a parent trying to find ways to keep my child occupied and entertained. And so I'm going to continue posting these lessons for you. So welcome back. This is day 2. Okay, great. Don't forget that we always start with a warm-up. So you want to be maybe doing some jumping jacks. You want to maybe practice hopping on 1 foot, hopping on 2 feet. We do something called alley shuffles, where you hop and switch your feet. I'll back up a little bit. You can almost see my feet. And you're going to hop and switch your feet just like that. You can do anything as long as it helps you get your body moving and warmed up a little bit. And what I'll do is I'll post a video maybe later today or tomorrow, just on some basic kind of fun warm-up things that you could do. But you want to do a warm-up for about 5 minutes so you kind of get nice and loose. Your muscles get moving, your blood gets moving, and you feel good before you start doing any of the more intense exercise that we're working on. Yesterday we started working on punching. And you remember we talked about how to make a proper fist, right? We talked about hiding your fingernails, folding your thumb over. And then when we were punching, we talked about wanting to make sure we used a nice flat wrist and hit with our 2 big knuckles. And the second part we talked about was making sure when we started punching that our hand went from palm up to palm down. It went palm up to palm down, just like that. And then we started to alternate hands. We went left and right, just like that. And so assuming we got that down, all right, we're going to move on to the next lesson. And so if you've ever played any sport, volleyball, basketball, hockey, golf, whatever it is, you know that all your power comes from your hips. When you're swinging a baseball bat, your power comes from your hips. You're shooting a puck, you're kicking a ball, whatever it is, your power comes from your hips. And in the martial arts, it's no different. And in punching, it's the exact same. And so we're going to take a look at that today with today's lesson. Okay. So today's lesson, we're going to talk about our hips. And so instead of facing forward, we're actually going to take our whole body and we're going to turn it 45 degrees. So we're kind of pointing to the corner just like this. And how we're going to start with, the first drill we're going to do is, we're just going to practice turning our hips. And so we're going to keep our toes pointing to the corner, but we're going to point our belly button forward. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just like that. We're going to practice just turning our hips. And if we get good at that, then we're going to put a punch in there. So we're going to go 1, 2, and you can see I pull it back. My hips point to the corner. My fist is right here. 3, 4, 5, 6. Just like that. And we're going to do it on both sides. And if we're good at that, then we're going to move on to the next step. And the next step is full counts. We would go 1, 2, 3. Just like that. And you want to practice that until you're able to do that pretty smoothly with the punch and the hip turn. Okay, so the next step of the drill is we're going to mix 2 hands in. And so when our hips point to the corner, our front hand goes forward. And then I go 1, and you can see I turn my hips forward, and my hand goes forward. 2. And every time I punch, I'm going to make sure my hips turn. You're going to want to make sure you kind of got soft knees. Your knees are a little bit bent. You're not super locked out, super straight as you practice that. And you want to be able to do this smoothly and consistently with your hips turning and your hands punching before you move on to the next drill. Okay, so the next drill is great. You're going to use, we talked about this yesterday, if we have a ring, you could use your hands, anything small that's like a loop that you want to practice punching on. And so you want them to now practice punching and being able to put their hands through the hoop. And that's just going to help them develop some accuracy. Great. Last but not least, we're going to practice punching a little bit harder today. And so remember yesterday we talked about not needing to punch hard. We just wanted to get the technique down. And we're continuing to work on that and make sure we've got good technique. But we're going to now introduce, like I said, a pad. Or we talked about yesterday, a pillow. Or you can punch somebody in the stomach if you really want to train old school and hardcore. You could use your hands. You stack your hands like that. Keep your fingers nice and tight if you're going to let them punch your hands. You don't want splayed fingers. It really hurts your finger if they catch a finger. Okay, but so now what you're going to try and do is you're going to try to get them punching a little bit harder, just like that, as they turn their hips. And like we talked about yesterday, you want to make sure when you punch, you got a nice flat wrist. Your two big knuckles hit just like that. And that's it. Great. Okay, so the last thing is we'll play a quick little game. The game's going to be really simple as long as you have two people. If you only have one person, the game doesn't quite work, but it is what it is. So you're going to number one of the people number 1 and one of the people number 2. So 1, 2, 1, 2, just like that. Okay. And every time you say their number, they're going to do a punch. So I say 1, the person on the 1 side would punch. If I said 2, the person on the 2 side would punch. And you're going to keep going back and forth. You go 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. And then eventually what you're going to try and do is you're going to try and speed up a little bit. And you're going to try and trick them. So you might go 1, 2, 2, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 2. And your goal is to just try and trick them, have them punch when they weren't supposed to punch. And the winner is the one that stayed the most focused, was the best listening, and was able to follow along without making any mistakes. All right, and that's it for the day. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you didn't enjoy it, don't tell anybody. But tomorrow we will start working on some blocking drills. And they're a ton of fun, and we'll have some games that we could do with those as well. Until then, I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.